Earthlings, back at you with a brand new video. This is none other than King of the 957. Greetings, Earthlings, and I'm here to tell you about self-awareness and what it is and why it's healthy to have self-awareness. Now I'm going to actually go up into the actual camera and talk to you guys so you can see my beautiful face. But anyways, this is a very important discussion because most people don't understand self-awareness, or at least they want to take the good without the bad, and then that's where the problems lie. You can't take the good without the bad, because human beings, like I said about life being an RPG, and I know some people say I'm smoking that good kush and drinking too much of this good old Miller redneck draft type of drink, but you get the point. The point I'm trying to say is that you do need self-awareness. If you don't have self-awareness, then you're going to delusionally think you're good at everything, and then you're going to get roasted by people. You're going to be made fun of by your boss. There's some things you're good at and some things you're bad at. And it's okay to be bad at stuff. Most people are not good at everything. Look, I like to play basketball on free time. Like if I had a basketball hoop in my backyard, I'd play. I know I'm not a good basketball player. I know I'm a shit basketball player. I know. You know? I know I'm bad. But that's because I practice self-awareness. Yes, you are your own worst critic. But if you don't realize that maybe your skill set's in another place. This is why I say focus on your goals. Focus on the goals you're actually good at and make that your purpose in life. Don't stop trying to make something, work that doesn't work. You're good at physical labor, then that's where your stuff should be at. If you're good at computers, that's where it should be at. You get the point. You have a certain skill set that you need to assess, no matter what you are. Any walks of life, disability, race, gender, it does not matter. We're human beings, and human beings, it's just like with RPGs. Like, if they could take Final Fantasy VII, like Vincent Valentine is good with magic, but not attack. That's why Vincent Valentine's defense is super low. It was the same thing with human beings. If you're the big buff chads that have giant muscles, then the intellect isn't going to be so good because you focus on these muscles over this. Now, there are people who focus on both, which is really good. You do need to get to that, but the point is, your skill sets go into what you do, your livelihood. Your livelihood, what you do on the daily basis, your hobbies, your job, etc. Now, like I said, the problem I have with most people is most people get delusional and think they can do that and more. And we live in a culture where people are narcissistic. They think that they're the shit. When I go to the bars, when I used to go to the bars, when I used to have the money to go to bars, like the barcades and stuff like that, and when T3 was still open, I always see these thirsty guys coming up on this female. It's one of those stereotypical bearded dudes, bearded. He looks like the guy from, I can't remember what the Completionist. Gerard, I think is his name. The guy with the big beard. He just kept trying to spit game and fails. The girl was trying to look at somebody else. It's like, but he kept going. And this is why self-awareness is important. Self-awareness keeps you from doing stupid asinine things. Without being self-aware, then you can either make yourself a fool, you get yourself in trouble, and you're just going to be someone else's entertainment. That's going to really bite you in the ass if you try to do something you're clearly not good at. People make fun of that stuff. It's like those people who go to American Idol, or what's it called, America's Got Talent, or those kind of shows, and spend a whole bunch of money on a hotel and stuff like that, just for Simon to tell you you suck. When you should have already told yourself you're not good at singing. Now, don't get me wrong, if I had a chance and you know, I had the funds to go up there, I'd probably just do it just for a publicity stunt, you know, make my YouTube things higher, but I wouldn't try to get a singing career out of it. I wouldn't try to do that. But that's not even here or there. The point is, you got to be able to see outside your shell. You got to be able to see what other people see from you and not for what you see yourself. Of course, you're going to think yourself is good. You're going to think yourself is God tier. You're going to think yourself is the best, and no one can tell you any different. Of course, you're going to feel that way. Whether you're Chad, or whether you're a person like me, or whether you're an incel, or whatever you are, wherever you have you, whatever situation you are, you know, political party, religious party, whatever, you're going to always think good of yourself. You're going to always look in the mirror and squeeze your hog to yourself. You're going to always do that. That's going to happen. But you'll never become a transcendent human being. You'll never become a smarter human being until you really understand these skills right here, these set of skills that are into my hobbies or into what I like and into of how good and talented and how much I can put the ability to those set skills. That's where your skills you should be trying to do. As for delusional people, they don't do that because they're the guys that go like, I could do that and more, like kind of like Flight Reacts a little bit. Or Flight Reacts bites off more than you could chew. That's how you bite off more than you could chew, because then you try to do something you cannot clearly do. You know, it's just life is like an RPG. People got certain skills in certain areas, but you will decrease on the other skill depending on what you work at. If you're more of a musical person, you're not going to be good at sports. If you're good at sports, you're not going to be a good musical person. Or a tech person. It depends on what you spend most of your time on. How much you spend your time on. How good you are, too. Because you could try anything and be bad. Now, there are rare cases of people that are literally bad at everything. But most of the majority of people are good at something, or even better than others in some area, and worse and horrible than others in other areas, because that's just how life works. That's how what being human is. You know, if you believe in the biblical accord about, you know, sin is inherited in us and all that stuff, it does say that it's compared to like how bread is. You know, when they pass the bread in the churches, where they pass unleavened bread, meaning, you know, unleavened bread means no extra ingredients like gluten and stuff like that. But technically, we're what I call gluten human beings. We're technically gluten. Like, out of all my body right now, I look like I'm thin. But in this certain area right here is where all the fat is. If I take my shirt off, most people think I'm fat and obese. But everywhere in my body, none of that. Because you know why? No matter how perfect you think, you could train, you could lift weights, you could do all that stuff all day, every day, there's always going to be one imperfection. Because humans are imperfect. Humans don't have perfection. They'll never reach perfection. They'll never reach a certain level. And it's not just with looks, with everything else. If you're never good at basketball, then you're not good at basketball. Irregardless how much you play for fun, how much you play with your friends, you're never going to be good unless you have the skills for that. Same thing with charisma, meaning stuff like pick-up girls, being able to talk your way into good situations. You gotta have charisma. If you're not born with charisma, then you're never gonna do it. A charisma, it's a Kekkei Genkai. Like if you watch Naruto, you know what Kekkei Genkai is. Your own abilities. And each human being has their own abilities, and families are like the Naruto clans, if you really think about it, because there's specific areas. For my family, culinary arts is the best thing. As a matter of fact, I should be really trying to get a job in culinary arts for the fact that, you know, my family we're born to cook. We're born to be good cooks. We just put anything together, and it's stuff that you see Chef Ramsay go like, oh damn, that's good. But in other abilities, I don't have as much on other abilities because, like I said, family lines are just like clans, and then like kind of like Naruto clans where they have a certain Kekkei Genkai. My Kekkei Genkai is cooking. I'm a good cook. I love cooking, but it's also I'm good at it. The point I'm trying to say is, to get down to it, everybody has certain abilities, and they should focus their life on that certain abilities. And there are some things you should not do, ever. At least do it for fun with your friends and your buddies, of course, with your people you're close to that don't judge you. But don't go making a career out of something you're clearly not good at, that you're missing the point of, or otherwise you're going to keep making a fool of yourself. That's why it's important to be self-aware. You should try to look in a mirror and don't look at it through your eyes as yourself. Look at the mirror as if you're somebody else looking at you. Because then you'll be self-aware. There will be changes you want to make in your life. There will be things you want to do in your life. There will be things that you could do better in life. Or realize that you're not good in this area and you're never going to be that good in that area, so you stop focusing on the area. Focus on what you're good at, but also understand the difference between fun and delusions. Delusions is where you'll take it so far to the point where you can't see reality. And you got to be able to check into reality, because reality is what's going to save you. Reality is going to save you the embarrassment. Reality is the truth. And the truth is never going to be always nice. The truth sometimes hurts. But you got to understand the truth and understand that maybe, in some cases, maybe in a case, that you need to practice self-awareness. So may the crystal be with you, and always practice self-awareness. That's how you're going to get better in life. That's how you're going to blind life. Be realistic about what you can do. Be realistic about your goals.